in there. Hi, interwebs. We are back. My name is Jinx. Hopefully, we are doing an encore because last week my internet was all wonky, and I really wanted to make sure that we got really cool like shares of pictures and videos and stuff. So again, I'm Jinx. This is my new show, Unstitched. It is the first Sunday of every month where I will have a guest cosplayer or someone else in the cosplay community or cosplay scene in for an interview. We kind of talk about a lot of different topics. So today I have with me PrueDuctions. So if you were watching last week, I do apologize that we did have some technical difficulties. I do have a backup if Thermo Ghost is here to support in case there's any issues. But Prue, go ahead and do an introduction of yourself, kind of like how you got started, the same thing that you did last week.
Hi everyone, I'm Prue, and I go by PrueDuctions cosplay because I'm narcissistic like that. And I do love to help people produce stuff, as well as I like to do productions, so it kind of all work together. I've been sewing for 10 years, and I learned to sew specifically so I could start entering cosplay competitions and having those couple minutes on stage every once in a while. So I do love to perform, as well as making fabulous costumes. And I basically view it as I can have Halloween whenever I want. I don't have to wait till October every year.
So a little bit about like your background, why you like to do productions. Where does that come from?
So I did high school theater, and when I was a senior in high school, I got the opportunity to direct a play. And the first time that like my cast got to go up on stage was when I realized this is something I absolutely love. This is something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I actually changed my major at ASU to theater. So I was an invisible marketing major for about 2 weeks over the summer before I started. I'm like, no, theater, that's for me. So I got a theater degree from ASU with an emphasis in directing. And when I graduated ASU theater, I had to, get a grown-up job. And I always missed that performance aspect, but I couldn't really commit to 6 to 8 weeks of rehearsals for actual performing. And then eventually I found my way to the cosplay community, and I'm like, oh, I can get up on stage, and I only have to commit to one weekend. I just can, rehearse my own time. So that's when I started doing that, is it's a way to perform without all of the major time commitments beyond the time of making a costume, but that you can fit in around other stuff.
And when did you start cosplay? Did you mention that one? I don't think you did. Yeah, when you did.
It's been about 10-ish years.
Okay.
2015, I think, was my first year at Phoenix Fan Fusion or Phoenix Con Fusion or whatever it was called back then.
And what would you say was like your first cosplay that you deem like a cosplay? I know the lines blur for us all the time now.
Absolutely. So the first cosplay, like the first time I dressed up specifically as a character outside of Halloween or a party, was actually for the midnight premiere of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie, which we don't like to talk about.
Okay.
But that was the first time I went to a thrift store and I looked for fabrics, and I dressed up as a Zula. I didn't know how to sew back then, so definitely like the shoulder pieces was a pillowcase that I cut a neck hole out of, and then I got some tablecloths and shirts and pants, and I basically just cut things and tied them together for the midnight premiere. And I still dress up for movie premieres to this day because it's an opportunity to dress up, and as we already discussed, I'll do anything to dress up. Then the first competition I did was for Phoenix Con. I upcycled and glued together stuff because I didn't understand masquerades back then. I thought, oh, it's just a costume contest. So I glued together a ton of fabric and made a steampunk Queen of Hearts, and I performed to a Hamilton song. And I didn't win anything because I didn't understand how craftsmanship mattered. in like, I'm like, but my performance was so good. How did I not do well? And I was talking to some people backstage, and they're like, well, you have to sew your costume. You can't just glue a couple of shirts together and glue some tulle onto a skirt and think that's enough. And I'm like, oh, I have to learn skills. Okay. So after that, I learned how to sew. I started making a Snow White Evil Queen costume, and then the following year I competed and I won first place in the novice competition. I'm like, well, that's why I learned how to sew, so I could start winning things.
Awesome. I feel like you definitely have it down, the performance part, which most people have like the cosplay part down, and then they get on stage and they're like, like, hi. So I think that's really awesome that you kind of started with the production part, because with productions goes costumes and props and all that stuff, right? So that kind of came naturally to you. But you are also very well known for upcycling things, right? You mentioned tablecloths and pillowcases. So kind of what is your like thought process when you start a cosplay? Like, do you think of things that you're gonna remake, or do you start from scratch and then start moving into things that you can alter? Like, how does that go?
So for me, it's usually I usually try to take two paths. So I do I'm definitely a quantity cosplayer. I rarely rewear stuff because I just love to constantly be making, which is a bad thing. I should wear more of my stuff. I'm starting to just get overflow. But I usually go two paths. I go, is this just for fun and like for pictures or to match with the group, or is this for competition? Because that's definitely a good place to start. Because if it's going to be just for fun, that's when you can start looking at thrift stores and online for pieces to start with and improve upon. You don't have to make
That's a
it
good
completely
point.
from scratch.
Right.
Versus if I know I'm going to do something for competition, I know I'm going to start from scratch. I like to look for fabrics first off before, and a lot of the times I will be inspired by a fabric as well. And I'm like, just looking through curtains and everything, and I'll see something. I'm like, this immediately makes me think of blank. And then I'll actually build from there. So recently I found a really pretty golden curtain, and I'm like, this looks like something Prince Charming would wear. Now I'm going to make an entire group around Prince Charming because I found this one fabric. Like,
Oh, you're
so
referencing your WonderCon group.
I'm
Is that
actually
which
not.
one you're?
I'm planning another
Oh, okay.
Cinderella group.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
No, totally fine. I love Cinderella. Like, it's been one of my childhood favorite movies. So it's been, last week I was Drizella Tremaine, and I have like little
Yeah.
Cinderella stickers and stuff everywhere. I think you can even see the mice behind me up here,
Oh,
the
so
little
cute.
sewing mice. But yeah, I did just do the Lord of the Rings Cinderella group at WonderCon, and I did that because my friend Whitley, who was Cinderella, she had already made a Hobbit Cinderella costume that she spent hours and hours on. She painted all of her like little details and did hand embroidery, and I'm like, this is too good for you to have just made for fun.
Yeah.
It's too good. You should compete with this because it's that good. And she's like, how would I compete as Hobbit Cinderella by myself? And I'm like, okay, well, let's make an entire group around it. Why not? I can make some more characters.
Nice.
So her husband, my fiance, and me, I'm like, well, let's pick some other characters. And then I literally just went to Goodwill and I found anything in the color scheme. I had 2 bed sheets, 3 curtains, and my Gandalf fairy godmother was all Delta airline blankets that I found at 2 different Goodwills that I knew the fabrics matched because they're Delta airline blankets. So all upcycled
Oh,
completely
wow,
for those
nice.
3. Yeah.
I'm trying to pull this up. So we got a couple comments here. Anthony, hello, Jinx and Productions. Thanks for joining us from Facebook. Jack, Gus, and Mary were Cinderella mice friends. Yes, very cute. Very, very cute. So let me try and pull up an image here again, and hopefully we'll see we don't freeze.
And while you're doing that, I just want to say, like, a lot of the times people
Okay.
feel they. Oops, sorry. Do we have a delay?
No, you're good. For some reason, it doesn't like my image sharing. I might need to bring in ThermoGhost. Let's try again. Nope. Oh, see that? Are we okay? maybe that was okay. Let's try sharing it. I swear to God, I updated and everything, but let me take a look. So this is, see if this comes up.
Ooh,
Okay.
neat.
Yeah, so this was your, describe this costume and character.
So this is a mashup of the fairy godmother from Cinderella and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. And basically, I wanted it to be Gandalf's costumes with her coloring, with the fairy godmother's coloring. And so when I decided that was the path I was taking, I realized Delta airline blankets are like the exact color and the material and like weight of the fabric that I want. So I went to a couple of different thrift stores and looked for those because I knew if I found them at different stores that they would still match. And it's a thing that's constantly like donated because people accidentally take their Delta Airlines blankets home and they're like, what am I going to do with this now? I'm not going to take it back to
That's
you.
nuts. I don't think I've ever seen, like, because I mean, I have a background in airline, right? So I love those airline blankets. But I've never seen them at thrift stores. Now I gotta look. Harder.
Yeah. So I found 3. It was like one
Nice.
blanket for the front, one blanket for the back, and then the last one was the sleeves, the hat, and the pockets, because of course I have pockets.
And I see that you've got like some trims here too.
Yep, those trims I just randomly had because I just have a crazy stash. I have it sitting right here. And you can see it's the same trim that I used on the Grand Duke because I'm like, again, I still have so much of this left. I used it all over both of our costumes. And I'm like, well, still got plenty.
Nice. And you've got some details here in the hat. What is this?
So for the hat, I made that completely. It was like one of my first millinery projects. And on the inside, I have a clock face. So with the whole thing being midnight, yeah, home by midnight, I got those clock pieces off of Amazon and I just glued them on. And just like little tidbits. On the back of the cloak, there's hidden Mickeys and pumpkins, just like little details. Because I know it's a very simple costume. It's literally a tube with sleeves. So adding those little details makes it more impressive to the judges.
I agree. And the fact that you reused materials, you know, especially with like our you know, sad Joanne is closing down, our main source of fabrics. Like this is, you know, you probably won't have a problem. You'll find fabrics everywhere.
I never went to Joanne's.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Anthony says I love fusion cosplay. Oh, he says, are you thinking about cosplaying heroes from Marvel Rivals, Jinx? I haven't played it, so I don't have any plans as of right now. But we have a couple more videos to share. So this is Grand Duke Ryan as the Prince Hobbit. Okay. And so what about these fabrics?
His shirt is entirely bed sheets. His pants were a tablecloth, and his vest was a cape, curtain. And I just literally looked for colors and things that had kind of a linen woven material while I was going through the racks, and it ended up working out fine. Again, I only went to 3 thrift stores to get everything for all 3 of these costumes. And so you have to have a vision when you go thrifting for this kind of stuff. Oh, and his red sash is actually the same material that I used for the prince's pants because it was a nice like linen. I think it's still behind me. I really should clean more. But it's a
he's not the prince, right? He's the
Grand Duke.
Wait, what character? The Grand Duke. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And I see the trim there as well, right?
Yep, the trim went everywhere. But this is literally just a tablecloth. And the thing that's nice about using tablecloths is they already have a nice edge. So like the bottom of this prince's pants, I didn't have to hem because I just cut the tablecloth to be at the end of the tablecloth, and it was already finished. It's a lot less time.
And it's got a nice texture on it already too.
Yeah, so I added the fun little squiggly guys to the shirt, which is made out of bed sheets. You can even see the sleeve of his bed sheet still has the like kind of folded brim because I'm like, well, why would I make a new edge when I could just use the bed sheet? And
that's
his
true.
vest was also a curtain.
Gabby says Prue is the thrifting fabric queen. I know I need to like learn more. like I thrift so much for like my normal life. Like I love wearing thrift fashion, but I never, sometimes I'll go for cosplay if there's things that like, I don't like making blazer jackets because who does? That's like
the
a
worst.
nightmare.
Yeah.
So I always thrift those for cosplay, but I never thought to like, and I'll see fabrics. I'll go to the fabric section because they have a little fabric section, but I never think of to get like sheets and tablecloths. So I definitely need to think more in terms of those, especially like when you buy these fabrics, like the fringe trims, those are so freaking expensive. They're like 10 or 12, $15 a yard. But if you get them off curtain accessories, at Goodwill and stuff, it's already there.
Yeah, and I've done that.
That was something else I was going to share later. Oh, here we go.
But I've definitely done that a lot where I look in curtains, and if it's like a valance and it's got the thing, and I'm like, I only need like a yard of that for a specific costume, I will totally seam rip it off that because it'll be so much cheaper.
So here I have, this video is loading. Which was this video? It's loading. Window, media player. Okay. Oh, there we go. I don't know. There we go.
So the gloves that I made for that.
That's awesome. Then you can see the details there.
Yeah, those were all cricketed on. I designed all of them on my friend's Cricut and printed them out and I ironed them on. And then I thrifted that silver belt because, again, just trying to match Gandalf's style. My gloves were actually pajama pants that I cut up so I didn't have to hem them, and I just measured them and sewed them to my arms. But little things like that, It's really important where people realize, like, I've had people come tell me, oh, I wish I could compete. I just can't afford to make such a nice costume. I'm like, I made 3 out of 4 of these costumes, and I want to say I spent less than $50 on all of the materials. I spent way more in time, obviously, but like, you can cosplay on a budget. It is possible. You just got to put in the time to make up for that money. So go to 3 thrift stores. Yeah.
You're going to have to spend more time looking for things that are going to match exactly what you need. And it's out there. You can definitely find everything that you need at thrift stores. Kevin's watching us from Facebook. Good evening, Jinx and PrueDuctions. May the 4th be with you. I'm wearing my, Rebel Alliance shirt. So may the 4th be with you as well. I lack in Star Wars cosplay, so that's why I'm just wearing a t-shirt. But yeah, so and you also love to kind of jump in and be like the side characters a lot of times that where you can just kind of easily make something, right? So kind of list off a couple of those kind of last minute side characters that you've made. I don't think I have anything to share right off the bat, but yeah, I'd love to hear some of these fun characters that you've made. I'm going to find your Instagram.
Well, I have a lot of wonderful cosplay friends that I've made in this community, and a lot of them like to do Disney princesses. So I actually really love to do Disney villains, and so I'll make a lot of those to like match with my friends, and then I can just like glare at them and stare down my nose. But I've made like Mother Gothel and Evil Queen. So villains are definitely my go-to, but like silly side characters, I've done Sophie from Anastasia, which anyone in the world who's seen the movie is like, oh, I get it, but you don't get it when I'm not next to an Anastasia. So what's kind of a bummer about doing side characters is you kind of have to have a friend be the main character if it's a very obscure one.
That's true. Like you alone, it'll be like, okay, well, I'm not sure which one are you from. I'm trying to find some pictures here on your Instagram. You've got a lot of great ones here. Yeah, I'm just going to share this here. Hold on a second.
I've done like Silver Mist from the Pixie Hollow movies. I can't really walk around as Silver Mist by herself because no one will really know who that is. They're like, oh, she's the blue fairy. But if I'm with the Tinkerbell, then that's when people will kind of like remember, oh yeah, the water fairy from the Tinkerbell movies. So a lot of the times I'll find a friend who wants to be a main character, and then I'll just be like the buddy with.
Nice. Yeah, and you've got a lot of, you're right, you have tons of different characters here. Here's Scar. Looks like you've made this with a couple different mishmash of fabrics and materials. Curtains.
All thrifted.
Yeah, I know curtains look the most, they look the most regal, right?
velvets and brocades, darling.
Yeah.
That was a bunch of curtains I found,
So
the
funny.
pink and purple curtains.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, this has to be Madame Mim. They're the perfect colors. So a lot of the times I'll find the fabric,
Nice.
it'll remind me of a character, and then I'll just have to make everything else to go with it.
Nice. And then here, oh, you guys did your little Renaissance Power Puffs
Yeah.
when we had the Renaissance fair that wrapped up. Very cute.
That actually went a little viral on TikTok. I was like, okay, we didn't put that much effort in. Why is this going over?
Sometimes that's it, is like the least amount of effort, like reels that I've done. Like I just have like sewing reels and those get like 10,000 views. And I'm like, what? And then I'll like put a lot of effort into something and it gets like 200 views. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah.
So this is
So
at
this one
Tucson
was from
Comic-Con.
Tucson.
Yeah.
And this is another mashup you've got, right?
Yep, this we did a gender bent Beauty and the Beast group with Rococo styling. So 3 mashup goals for that. Our friend Matt wanted to be Belle, and he's like, I don't know how to be Belle by myself. I'm like, well, we could get some other friends. We'll do this marriage scene. So I'm a Rococo Gastonette in like a bridal type feel. So with the water, with the white fabric, because I'm proposing to Belle. And so we had to re-record that whole sound bit. But again, those are curtains. Those are tablecloths. Like, you can do it on a budget. You just gotta get a little lucky.
and this another one you said that Matt, our friend Matt, Insomnia Matt, wanted to be Belle. Is that how this started? Because I know he loves to do gender bends. So he wanted to be Belle, and you're like, I'll be your Gaston.
Yeah, I'll be Gastonette. Why not? I love antlers. I love the villain. And then we had our friend Hannah be LeFou because Hannah was pregnant at the time and she had the big belly. And she's like, I want to play. And so she had the big belly. And we're like, well, you have to be LeFou. And it was so funny because we live kind of far away from each other. So with her costume, I had to make it so all the sides were open and laced because we didn't have time to do a fitting before driving down to Tucson. So I was literally sewing on those sleeves on the drive down, and it was because we didn't have time to do a fitting and she was growing. I was like, we have to make this adjustable to make sure that it fit, and it looked great on her.
Nice. Yeah, and I know that we've done some cosplays together as well. Let me share these other ones here 1 second. So this one, as my screen's gonna, yeah, okay, here we go. Now, I don't know whose idea this was at first, the Disney Amazons.
I love that.
Wait, where
that
are you?
Was so good.
Window.
The first Wonder Woman.
Here we go. Yeah, so I know you guys had like, so this is before, because I came into the community a little later because I moved overseas, but oh wait, Gabby also said Prue also made my Tinkerbell dress. That's nice. Yes, and you do like to make a lot of things for other people so they join you, right?
Yeah.
So I cannot remember, how did this Amazon Disney group start? Because I know you guys had another Amazon group before, but that was like, the DC one Amazons, yeah. So who was in charge of this one?
I can't remember who was the first one, but I know a lot of us had the armor from doing an Amazon group, and we're like, well, we also have Disney characters, like, let's combination them.
Maybe it was Thermo. Was it Thermo?
Because she's
I think she already had that. Yeah. And so I know that, so you were Belle, and then I know that Amber Cindy had done a Cinderella with our previous group before. Oh, that's what I wanted to look for, was the Wreck-It Ralph mashup, but I'll go back. And then I think we all kind of fell into like our normal characters, right? Because Vernon Raven, she does all of the wings for everybody. So of course she was going to be Tink. Yeah.
I wanted to be Belle because I had the idea of doing the bow and arrow, and I wanted the arrow to be a rose, like, really badly. So
did I give that to you?
The bow and arrow?
No, the rose.
I think you gave me the rose. I had the bow from Legolas or my Cupid costume.
I feel like we were talking about it or something, and I had found this giant rose at like Goodwill, and I'm like, of course I'm gonna get
Yes,
this.
you gave me the rose. It was for
And then I
that.
was
And then
like,
I gave that shield to Anna, our thermo
yes.
sidekick, because it was like a decor piece on like my mom's kitchen cabinet. And I'm like, that looks like a shield, and it looks like it belongs
No,
in Frozen. And I stole it from my mom
no.
and gave it to her, and she still uses it. It's great.
And your mom's like, where? Like date, like months later, she's like, where did this
My
go?
mom's a hoarder. She might not even know it's missing.
Oh my gosh. And then I was doing like Moana so much. So I was like, yeah, of course I'll do an Amazon Moana. That one for me was harder because it was less armory and more, I don't know, like natural materials. And then there's Kat back there is the Jasmine, who was more like an assassin style. I liked hers a lot. Gosh, I wish I had that video prepped up, but I know if when I start pulling up videos, it's going to go slow. But we did this whole shoot with 2 different photographers. This space is actually near our hometown. If anybody's not from Arizona or Phoenix area, it's like just like by the mountains. It was really easy drive, Scorpion Gulch. We had to compete with all the like prom kids doing golden hour photos and stuff, but
I
whatever.
remember that.
But yeah,
But
so
the
we
video
had
turned out so cool.
yeah, I guess I just need to link the video in there. I can't remember where I put it up, but we shot with Bros and Cons, which they're kind of disbanded, but only because they all went like to new, bigger, better things. Like Vic lives in California now, LA, and doing tons of videographer stuff. And they did a video for us, and then we also shot with King Cart Photography as well. So we got 2 different kinds of like viewpoints. And gosh, I wish I knew where that one was. I'll have to share it at some other time. But the other fun, let me see what else we have here. I'm gonna just have to go through these. Okay, so this was, oh, this is another version of your bell because you were into the like Bridgerton. This is Bridgerton, right?
Yes, Bridgerton Bell.
Bridgerton bell. And these are curtains or bed sheets or tablecloths.
The white under one was a tablecloth and the gold was a curtain. Oh, and the white
Nice.
sleeves were another curtain. Yep.
Nice. They are very, very pretty. Yeah. And then we did, let me see, reference my folder here. Oh, okay, these ones. We'll skip through this. And then we did an evolutions group. So this evolutions group actually started with thermo cosplay. And we did like the Sunset. So Sunset Dragon is a very popular fan artist. And there's a lot of fan artists out there that like do different versions of, these characters that they love. And this is the evolutions in Dungeons and Dragons classes. She's actually done a whole second like version of it. But
she's done 3 versions.
So we actually did it. Oh, she's done 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did these first. We picked this group, and then we had everyone assigned, and then we did the group again. So anytime anyone wanted to join or be the same character as someone else, like we always welcome them. So Prue, you joined us the second time we wore this at TaiYuCon, which is in January, and it's Arizona, so it's not that cold, but it's cold. So our first group did not even have a Glaceon.
And
yeah, we had a
like,
Glaceon and then they canceled out. Like something happened like with our Glaceons. Yeah. So then you did because they like canceled like too late after we had like started the group or to notify you. Because we were entering this for the Sabaton Con cosplay contest. So then of course when we came around again, like, hey, we're gonna wear a Taiyu, we were like, who else wants to join? So you joined us. So this is our group. Yeah, it actually was cold because it was like 60 degrees, and that's cold for us Arizonans. So here you are putting a spell on everybody. Yeah. And then so I was Sylveon, Thermo's Leafeon, and Thermo's, she's now sidekick mouse, is Espeon. Dawn here is Eevee. Amber was Flareon, and then my sister's Umbreon. So we all helped each other too. That's another thing when we do groups, is we can always help each other with different skills. And here, that's actually my niece. She was like, I want to join, and so I gave her this Jigglypuff like, what is it called? The scarf thing. And I was like, here, take my tambourine and sing us a song. And then she put us all to sleep. So that's one of my favorite pictures.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so we were asleep. Now, the next one I want to talk about is my favorite because I don't compete. Like, it's not in my nature to be competitive. I just like to make costumes and I like to perform, right? So I'm like, I have a performing background, and this isn't about me. But anyway, so you had this great skit planned and asked me to join, and I'm like, heck yeah. And I don't like ever want to do other like contests unless someone asks me. So this was the first group that I had joined, and it was so much fun. You had it all planned. It made it very easy for me because, like I said, like I like to just be there, show up, have fun. So this was WonderCon 2019. You had
Yes.
asked me to come join. I'd never been to WonderCon. So this is the Muses and Hercules and Megara from the Disney's Hercules. So kind of tell me about how that all started.
Um, so one thing that I think is really important when you have a group for a performance cosplay piece is have a plan to do something that will not bore the audience. So
Mm,
for me, the most important part of picking like a big group of cosplay characters that we really like is make sure that there's something upbeat you can do, because if you plan on going out there with a bunch of people and you just like pose and it's not like upbeat or exciting for the audience, they will get
mm,
bored and then you will feel that energy and you won't have as much fun. So
yeah.
I love the music of Hercules, and we wanted to do something that was upbeat. Originally, we were thinking of just doing Zero to Hero, but Liz made this amazing Megara costume, and she's like, Megara doesn't make sense with just Zero to Hero. She's not
Mm,
even in that song. So that's when we changed the idea to do 3 songs so that it made more sense for more people in the group. And so we started off upbeat. We did the Meg song and we ended upbeat so that we still kept people interested in the audience perspective of the group. And it's just one of our favorite movies. So why not? Why not? If you're going to spend this much time doing a skit and making costumes, make sure it's something you actually care about. Don't just do it because you're like, well, I know that character is going to win. If you don't love the character, don't do it. That's definitely a big piece of advice.
yeah, definitely. And you had it all like choreographed. You edited the audio as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was 3 songs mashed together to be like what 2 minutes long, I think it was. There was a limit to how long we could be on stage. Now this picture here, I'm not in it because I couldn't make the photo shoot. But I was God, what was the name of my muse? Something with an
I can't.
M.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
metamine or something like that. I always went off of the little symbols that we had embroidered on
Mm,
our hips of what we were the
yeah.
muse of. So I believe you're the muse of tragedy.
I can't
No?
remember. I have the name up on my website, but anyway, so we have the 5 muses there. So
Mm-hmm.
Prue, you're here on
Comedy.
the left. This is Kat. Yeah, comedy, and then Ashley does cosplays here. This was my stand-in, and this is Stephanie, and they all do have names. I think people are like, do they have names? They actually do have names.
They do.
Gabby says, so we'll get to this soon, but how many times have you won most humorous at WonderCon? This skit won most humorous, so that is #1 so far. And then Kevin Smith says Zero to Hero and Go the Distance are great songs. Go the Distance is really amazing. But I
It's
do
so
have this
beautiful.
video, and I remember you guys bought the fabric, so we all had the same fabric because it was down at the fabric district in LA, right? So you have this whole. I have that bolt of fabric still.
Hey, I'll
um,
take it. I have
mm,
space. I can
yeah,
always
I
use
mean,
white.
yeah, so we all used the same fabric. It kind of went from person to person until they got what they needed. I can talk a little bit about how my character, I made that wig out of like 3 different wigs that like you guys had scraps of and some foam.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that these characters were like the outfits are kind of simple. So, we all wanted to add things to it to make it a little bit more interesting. And then of course, like you said, Liz Todd Studio is her Instagram. She made the beautiful Megara, and then Val was Hercules, and we all helped each other make everyone's costume. So let me try and pull up this video again. Like, I know my connection's wonky, so hold on 1 second.
And that is an important thing when you do group cosplays is if you have multiple people making things, do your absolute best to make sure they make sense together. There's been so many times where one person will be like master level sewer and then everyone else is like novice, and it just doesn't mesh well. You got to make sure things mesh. So having the same fabric and same trims for everyone made it so they all mesh well, even though multiple people made the dresses.
You're right. Like that is a good point. Cause I know I made part of my dress and you made another part of it. And same thing when we did our evolutions group is, you know, there was a large group and some of us, when we did compete, we all had different levels. So we made sure to help each other, so that we could all come up to that kind of similar level and not, like overshadow anybody in our own group. So we all made sure to help. So, okay. So let me pull up this video. Let's take a look. So this was so much fun. We were just watching it before we went live. And we're like, ah! And I love watching it every single time. So hopefully, let's get it up here. Share my screen and the audio. All right, here we go.
Hercules, Hercules.
Whoops.
Believe in the technology.
That's like before we started. We just got on stage.
It's a surprise.
Oh no, it's freezing. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. So this was, yeah, they were cheering for us before we even like started. We just got on stage. All right.
How iconic these characters are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to close some windows first to make sure I don't slow it down any more than. All right. Okay. 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 All right. Now let's try it again.
This is a recreation. These goddesses are talking about Wonder Boy at WonderCon. Visiting all the way from Mount Olympus, the muses from Disney's Hercules. You got
and proclaimers of heroes. Heroes like Hercules.
Honey, you mean Hercules.
It gives me like chills.
I won't say I'm in love.
It's so fun. I cannot clap. I have no rhythm. Oh, so good.
We're clapping at our own performance. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. So I know at the very end, you guys probably are like, what is that? They were supposed to bring down the lights, and that actually was a lit up poster, or like supposed to look like the night sky, right, of the constellation of Hercules.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was so much fun. And I just realized now, I'm like, oh, I think it was no, not Calliope. But anyway, my character had the sad face, But I looked so happy the whole time. I'm like, yeah. So this one won the most humorous. This was your what? Number 2 most humorous? Number 3 most humorous? Number 2
at WonderCon, and I had already won most humorous in San Diego. So
right. Yeah. Got it.
They're like combination sister cons, so I always like lump them together.
They are, because one's like the little brother. So, but yeah, totally. So that one was so much fun. I always like reference it all the time. I guess I should throw the link. It's actually on my blog, but anyway, I'll throw the link in here so everyone else can see that video. It was filmed by Enrico Adada, so it's actually hosted on his website. But that's where you can see the video again if you want to see it. So you've done how many more WonderCon competitions since then?
Since then, I want to say it's 4, because I've done Bridgerton, Rococo, Alice in Wonderland, and this Lord of the Rings Cinderella. So 4 since then, because that was right before COVID.
Right, and then they didn't have a show in 2020 or 2021, I think it was.
Correct.
So 2022 was that was
Bridgerton? Disney.
Okay.
And we all ended up wearing masks, so we didn't have to
lip
sync, which is great.
Right. In 2023?
2023, I want to say, was Alice in Wonderland.
2024? Oh, no.
Rococo,
yes. Because I saw that one. I went last year and saw that one. And then 2025 was your Lord of the Rings Cinderella mashup. Yes. And how many of those won? What did they all win?
They all won most humorous, except for Alice in Wonderland won Judge's Choice, where we're like, this one was actually funny. So
right. So that was the one that you actually like went for the funny.
Yeah.
Nice. So we know you're a big. What's that?
Well, for like that one, the reason I think it was funny is because I had my fiance Ryan wear like knee pads as the king of hearts, and he like had to waddle out on his knees, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes, I remember.
And so I'm like, we're playing with all the proportions and our sizes and costumes. I'm like, this is totally gonna win most humorous. Judge's Choice, sweet, confusing, but sweet.
Right, and then this past one was definitely, you were 100% going for that most humorous. Like there was no question
so many
about
jokes, so many puns.
Yeah, it was good, and I didn't show a picture of the Cinderella that was in that either. But what is this last picture that I have?
So Cinderella is my friend Whitley, who lives
I do have
Seattle.
one more picture here that I want to share because I'm not sure. Is it a second? So tell me about this one. Okay.
So San Diego
and
Comic-Con,
this was
we did the Princesses on Parade from The Swan Princess, which is a very niche one scene that Velma Rip Creations. I've also wanted to do this group forever, and I've never been able to get enough people to commit because it's so niche. And when I found out Velma wanted to do this group and she was already gathering people, I'm like, please give me any character from the scene. I will literally play anyone, male, female, doesn't matter. And she's like, would you like to be Grimhilde or no, Griselda's her name. And I'm like, Griselda the most congenial? Got it. I can make like, I was down to be any character because I love that scene so much. And so she let me participate, and I only made my costume for this one. It was very low-key for me because normally I'm the leader and I'm making multiple things and coming up all this. So it was really great to have someone else take the lead for once.
This pink is really pretty. I love it.
It's gorgeous. She actually found the pink and mailed it to me. And it was like this mirror image, because she was playing my role of groups, is how I viewed it. I'm like, she's doing the stuff I always do. It's great.
Which is helpful.
All of my white was actually tablecloths, all the white satin, because white satin can get expensive. So what's nice about doing multiple tablecloths is with how like wide the hem is and stuff, I did not have to hem it. All I did was sew black lace onto 3 different skirts. I lucked out. I made it very easy. And then all of the middle parts that I cut out for my waist, in the shortest one, they were all the exact same length tablecloth. You just cut it shorter as you need it. And I used it to make the sleeves of the dress. Yeah.
Nice. And the black lace is really pretty. It really makes it look very finished. Yeah. And so Well, we know you're like huge into Disney. So another, I think maybe the first project I actually joined you guys on was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
So, and you were not a Disney princess,
I was
but
Ralph.
talk a little bit about how what the Wreck-It Ralph, project. How did that start?
So when we saw the previews, and there was a scene of all of the Disney princesses being introduced to Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph 2, the previews everyone agreed was absolutely hilarious. We loved it. And so I reached out to a local movie theater and I said, if I can get all of the princesses together, can we like kind of take over your lobby in order to see the movie for free for like me and all my friends? And they agreed. They're like, yeah, we'll advertise that all the princesses will be here on opening Saturday, and we'll let you guys all see the movie for free. And we're like, score. We just want an opportunity in an indoor location, because again, we're in Arizona, where we could take photos as a giant group. And I already had the Ralph costume because I competed as Ralph at San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm like, well, I've already got the most weird one to find. So let's get all the princesses together. And we started recruiting. We had a list of, okay, this is everyone we need. Who do we know who cosplays as that princess or looks like that princess if we have the costume and they can borrow it? Like, for example, Amber, who was our Cinderella Amazon, I'm like, Amber, you're a great blonde. Would you like to be Cinderella? I'll make you a dress. Same with Alexis. She wanted to be Aurora, and she's like, no one would ever cast me as Aurora because I'm on the shorter side. And I'm like, you could be our Aurora. What do we care? So I made her dress as well. I reached out to Amber, who already had Pink Cinderella. It really, a lot of them were, who do we know who already has this outfit and can come join us? So my friend Kai was our Rapunzel because she already had it. So a lot of it was, who has what else do we need? Fill in the gaps.
And then also, I don't know at what point Bros and Cons came in, but then we were like, let's redo the whole trailer, right?
No practice. We did it literally. Yeah.
It was actually amazing. So these are stills. These are by King Cart. So you can see we got all the princesses, and this was in the lobby of the movie theater. That's why it looks very like a bar because that movie theater is a bar. But we had pictures with the kids come through. It was a lot of fun. So we went like scene by scene, and I helped Bros and Cons do a little bit too because a lot of the other princesses were very busy, like greeting children and doing pictures and stuff. And so I went and kind of helped everyone too, like get in position for the video part. So we had our Vanellope. This is a great like still shot because there's like people in the background, like at the bar, and we're all like acting.
Yep, I made Vanellope's outfit. That's my friend's sister, where I'm like, hey, I need you to come do this thing. I'll make your outfit. And she's like, sure. Luckily, I have very kind friends who let me dress them up. And like, just human-sized Barbies.
Yep. So there's Thermo. Thermo, she was so nervous to be Snow White, but she was very cute Snow White.
She's so cute.
Yeah. Marissa's here. Stephanie, Amber. We're all just setting up our shots. And so here's some portraits. So Kat as Moana. The Moana outfit was made by Liz. This is Sandra.
This is Elsa for this.
As Mulan. Oh, so cute. So cute. The kids were just so happy. So many kids. That's why I was saying, like, sometimes in the video, like, you won't see as many princesses because they were so popular with the kids. And
especially
they were just,
like Ariel. Ariel was with the big
she was
skirt
super
and
popular.
Kids were calling to her.
Yeah, so Amber Skies did this beautiful pink Ariel. This Pocahontas. There's a sidekick mouse is Anna. Mulan, Vanellope, Snow White. Oh, and she made the glass slipper out of resin. She made the mold and everything.
And it's like broken because that's what we saw was happening in the
right, yes.
And that's what inspired her to make the slipper. And I'm like, if you make the slipper, I'll make the dress. And so I actually found the dress on Facebook Marketplace, was someone's old wedding dress, and I just added all the blue.
Oh, wow, really?
So that's upcycling at its best.
There you go. So there's Kylie as Rapunzel. There's your Wreck-It Ralph. Very cute with your Aw,
I don't
you're
know
my
why,
hero.
but I make a funny dude. I like all the facial hair.
Vanellope again. And this is Marissa as Merida.
Mhm.
There's Liz as Snow. Elsa, she made this dress as well. So a couple more group shots of us. Very cute. It was a lot of fun.
Such a good day. And I can't believe how quickly they got all of that footage like edited. It was like before we were out of the movie, they had the entire thing done. It was shocking.
There's Ashley as Tiana, yeah, and then
Mhm.
Jessica as Belle. Yeah. Oh, some of these are really cute. And then Alexis as Sleeping Beauty. And this was like this is a artwork that we mimicked. Belle. I got lots of pictures in here. Geez. Lots of pictures of people who aren't me. Very pretty.
Yep.
All right,
That
so
just had placemats.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I upcycle a lot. The more I look at things, I'm like, oh yeah, how do I do that?
All right, so let's do the video. This video actually has a billion views. I'll look at it after, so I don't want to slow it down. So let's take a look at this video. It was filmed and directed by Bros and Cons, and of course, all of us were in there in the show. This is mimicking the first trailer, because there's an extended trailer, and everyone was all mad about we didn't see XYZ princess, and I was like, whoa, chill. So this is exactly like the short trailer that we saw.
Mhm.
Hi. Whoa, ladies, I'm a princess too.
What kind of a princess are you?
Do you have magic hair? No.
Magic hands?
No.
Do animals talk to you?
No.
Were you poisoned?
No.
Cursed?
No.
Kidnapped or enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police?
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up?
Yes. What is up with that?
She is a princess.
Oh, Snow is so good.
And oh my God, like we mouthed all of that, and Bros and Cons were like, holy smokes, you guys like knew that. And I didn't realize we knew it so well, but she said when she matched up the audio, it was just perfect. So I want to see, hold on a second, how many views
that
this has.
trailer so much.
Yeah, no, that's true. So this actually has, where are the views? Why can't I see the views? This one, for some reason, got like millions and millions and millions of views, and maybe they don't share it. That's crazy, but it had like, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to share this because it's nuts how much this has gotten. It's right here, 919,000 views.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy. I don't know what happened, like where it was shared, but yeah, it's crazy how nuts it went. And of course, YouTube comments are the best, not. But yeah, I'll throw this in the chat. I need to find where the actual one is. So like, and maybe make a side by side, but that one was so much fun. I love doing things like that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So we're kind of coming up to the end here. What are your like future cosplay plans?
So next up is I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con this year. I did enter the Her Universe fashion show, and we're supposed to hear back in 13 days if I got in. I've been able to help backstage, but I've never been in the show. This will be my 7th time trying, so fingers luck, 7's a lucky number. But if I don't get into that, then I'll just go to the fashion show, and that's always on Thursday at San Diego Comic-Con, and then Saturday I will be competing in the masquerade as a Cinderella group.
Nice.
I'm really into Cinderella right now because it's the 75th anniversary of the movie, so I'm like, just go with the flow. After that, I will be going to, I'll be judging at the Tucson Comic-Con this year. That's the next big one for me.
Nice. And so that's kind of the rest of your year in a nutshell.
Pretty much. I also go to Labyrinth Masquerade Ball in LA in August, which isn't really cosplay related, but it's super dressed up and fancy. So in my mind, I treat it kind of like a con. So I'll make costumes for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, any reason to dress up out of like your regular closet clothes is like, why not?
Yep.
Gabby says, she says, You better get in this year. I'm writing Ashley a strongly worded letter. Uh-oh. So
I'm
I've
hoping
been,
7's lucky.
yeah, awesome. So I'm going to throw your Instagram here in the chat. If anyone's interested, you can follow Prue's Instagram, see what she's making. She always has a lot of like progress pictures too. A lot of Disney trips as well, right?
I do love
You
me
do a
some
lot of
Disney trips.
you do a lot of Disney bounding, which if people don't know what Disney bounding is, it's kind of dressing up in a manner of which the character would dress up as, or in like their color schemes or aesthetics. Um, so yeah, I do a little, I love a good Disney bound as well. Let me just pull this. Oh my gosh. And I also remember I did not have this picture ready, but hold on a second.
And I
This only
do plan
reminded
on
me.
going to Disney in October, so I'll have some Disney bounds then as well.
Nice. And so you made this beautiful dress.
I did.
It was from The Greatest Showman, and my brother borrowed it from you. Do you remember? Oh
Yes,
my
he
God.
did.
So you made this beautiful Lottie dress, and then my brother's like, hey, my work's doing a Greatest Showman Christmas uh, party. Like, do you have any ideas? And I'm like, oh my God, let me ask. And he did. He totally wore it. But yeah, I remember that. But yeah, and come and take a look at her Instagram. All of her awesome. Like, you do have a lot. If I go through and count, I think you have a ton. And I remember you
I
wore
tried
this
to
one for
tell
WonderCon.
someone that I've done over 200 cosplays, and they're like, no way. And I'm like, if I really sat down and count, I really think it's over 200. Like, I have quantity.
Yeah, oops, I keep going to say one. I believe it. Like all the different costumes and iterations you've got. I mean, this is like the most classic costume I've seen you in. That wasn't a mashup of Snow White. Like I didn't just hear you've got. Is this a tablecloth? Wait, this one matching tablecloths.
I was a curtain I made both of our pieces out of for Renaissance Festival. Yep.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah, Gappy says it's definitely over 200 is what she's guessing.
It's
And
gotta
then you have
be.
to, well, and then you don't count all the ones you've made for other people, right? So there you were.
Oh, yeah,
Very
we don't need to
pretty.
talk about how many things I've made for other people, too.
Yeah,
I made both
so
of those.
definitely a lot of costumes in here and great tips, great advice for upcycling. And like you said earlier, like anyone can do it under any budget. It just depends on maybe how creative you can be or how much time you have on your hands, what the resources you have. So definitely for everybody. That one was probably easy.
Yep, just cut up a dress, put it over a skirt.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Prue, for coming back for an encore to make sure that we had a proper show and shared all the fun stuff. Guys, if you're watching, Cost Talk Live has a schedule up. So we do have a variety of shows. We have Thermo AZ doing Mass Effect gaming, Amber Bright Creates, and Cosmom with sewing tips, tools, tutorials, etc. We have our schedule that goes up until June. There may be changes, but take a look, check it out. Our next Jinx Unstitched will be, we're in May. Oh my God, June with Fantasy Cosplay Shelly. So be sure to tune in for that. And don't forget, today is May the 4th. So go do something Star Warsy. Prue, any last words of advice?
If you've ever wanted to compete at a cosplay competition, just do it. Even if you're not going to win, like that practice and getting in front of the stage and being your favorite character, like there's nothing like it. A lot of people, the reason I do so many groups is because a lot of times people are like, I'm too scared to go by myself. I'm like, then I'll help you. Let's do it together. I'll help you get your toes in the water. Just because I think it's so fun. I think other people would have fun with it. And there's different levels you can do. And it's just to have fun. The point of cosplay is to play. And if you have fun playing on stage, that's a great space for it.
Yeah, that is really great because I do hear a lot of people that want to compete. And I know that a lot of competitions are evolving to allow more people to join in since cosplay now is so accessible. But yeah, thank you so much for that bit of advice. Again, follow Prue on Instagram.com/Prue_Ductions. You can find me at jinxcosplay.com, or I'm on socials at the Jinx Cosplay. And of course, Cos Talk Live, we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can find our socials, Cos Talk Live on Facebook and Instagram. And we are sponsored by the Age of Radio, an awesome podcast network. So be sure to check them out as well. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Our next show should be Thermo AZ Gaming coming up this Friday. So enjoy, and we'll see you next time.